Are you trying to devalue this entire neighborhood with your ghetto behavior? I can smell the weed from my kitchen. You ever have one of those nights where everything's just perfect, and then bam, a single sound busts it all to pieces? That was us right there on a boring old Tuesday making memories on our new couch wrapped up together under this fluffy red blanket, like it was the only thing holding the world together. There's something special about a regular weeknight when you both come home, beat my wife a pediatric nurse running on coffee, and chaos me a graphic designer whose eyes feel pixel burned by 5 p.m. And you finally collapse together with greasy pizza popcorn and some dumb movie blasting explosions through the house. That's what happiness looked like for us. Manicured lawns, oak trees, the whole American dream, or so I thought. We were the only black family on the block. Not that we'd really thought much about it, just proud to have made it here, proud of our little patch of peace. And then out of nowhere, a voice shrill nasal cutting right through the surround sound. Not at the door, no, through the window. The side window barely cracked open for a little cool air. I hit pause on the movie. My wife and I lock eyes. Did you hear that written all over our faces? I get up, heart pounding, walk to the window, and there she is, middle-aged white woman, late 40s maybe, with that "I want to speak to your manager" haircut, faded gray sweatshirt, hot pink sweatpants, so loud they'd wake the dead. She's leaning in, really upper body through the window, hands gripping the sill like she's gonna climb in and evict us herself. Her face is red and blotchy, pure rage, and she's jabbing her finger at us, me, my wife, still under our new red blanket. I manage, "Excuse me. Can I help you?" My voice comes out way calmer than I'm feeling. She screeches back, "You can help me by getting your kind out of this respectable neighborhood. We have children here, we have standards, we don't just sit around in our filth watching that trash." She gestures at our frozen TV mid-explosion, like that's the crime of the century. For the record, no weed, no nonsense, just pizza and popcorn and two tired people watching Michael Bay blow stuff up. My wife is up now, gripping my arm. I can feel her shaking, and I'm past scared, moving straight into cold, white-hot anger. This is our home. We pay the mortgage, mow the yard, follow the rules. She's trespassing and yelling at us through our own window. I say, "Ma'am, you're trespassing. You need to leave my property right now." She laughs a sharp, grating sound. "Your property? You couldn't afford a doghouse here. You're probably renters Section 8, I bet. I'm the head of the homeowners association, and I am telling you your lease is about to be terminated for nuisance behavior." Every word, every stereotype, like a punch to the gut. She's not just angry, she's performing. She grins, takes out her phone, turns her back to us, but keeps her head craned so she can still see our faces. In her fakest, trembling voice, she calls 911. "Yes, 911. I'd like to report a disturbance. My new neighbors, the black ones, they're aggressive, screaming. I think they might be on drugs. I'm afraid for my safety." My wife gasps. We stand there frozen, realizing she's not just calling the cops, she's painting us as dangerous, and she's doing it with pure weaponized racism. "You're lying," my wife whispers, voice shaking. "We were just sitting here," the woman scoffs. "That's what you'll tell them. But I'm a pillar of this community. Who do you think they'll believe?" Then she pulls herself out of our window, flashes that nasty smile, and vanishes into the dark side yard. The silence she leaves is heavy as stone. And then sirens, growing louder. Red and blue lights flicker through the windows. The woman is standing across the street on her perfect lawn, arms crossed, savoring the show. The cops show up, one older guy, mustache, tired eyes, one younger, tense hand hovering near his holster. I open the door, keep my hands visible. "Good evening, officers," I say, steady as I can. "Sir, we got a call about a disturbance." "Any loud music, aggressive behavior?" I shake my head. "Just a movie night. The woman across the street started screaming through our window, trespassing, harassing us, then called you." She struts over, voice trembling, talking about thumping music, strange smells, popcorn, ma'am, not marijuana, and how I supposedly threatened her. The whole act tears fear the works. The younger cop eyes me up and down, asks for my ID, all while we're standing in our own home. I try to keep calm, but inside I'm boiling. I turn slow as I can to grab my wallet. The older officer, Evan, says quietly, "It's all right, son. A small kindness in a hurricane of humiliation." They check my ID, then turn to her. "You're the HOA president." She puffs up. "For 5 years. I take my responsibilities very seriously. We have standards, to maintain property values," my wife, finally fed up, says. "What standard did we break watching a movie on a Tuesday? Is there a rule against red blankets?" Karen fires back. "It's about the element you bring, a palpable disruption." I spit the words back, "A disruption, we're just existing." The cops finally call it, "There's no evidence of a disturbance." Everyone go inside. But they don't take a report, don't warn her about trespassing, don't do a damn thing about her lie. It's a neighborly squabble as far as they're concerned, with an unspoken warning: be quiet, be invisible, don't cause trouble for the HOA queen. We go inside, lock every window, lock every door. Our home suddenly feels like a fishbowl, like she's watching. The red blanket, once a cozy prize, now feels tainted evidence in a crime scene. And we know deep down, this isn't over. Sure enough, the next evening, there's an official-looking envelope on the door, an HOA violation signed by her. Our crime, a red blanket visible from the street, a visual nuisance against the approved neutral color palette. We burst out laughing at the pettiness, but it's a hollow, exhausted laugh. She's not going to stop until we break or leave. That night, we dig out the HOA rules. It's all legal mush, harmonious appearance, community standards, vague enough to mean whatever she wants. The next day, I buy security cameras, one aimed at the porch, one at the side yard where she likes to lurk. The deadline passes, we leave the red blanket up, our flag of defiance. Another violation comes with a photo of our own living room circled in red marker. She's not just our neighbor or HOA president anymore, she's our stalker. It's time for backup. We find a lawyer, a sharp woman named Ms. Davidson. She's blunt, document everything. Don't pay the fine, demand a hearing, and gather evidence of selective enforcement. So we start walking the neighborhood, snapping photos. There are plenty of violations: yellow kitchens, cartoon decals, patio lights. Nobody else is getting letters. At the HOA hearing, Karen sits at the head of the table like a queen. The board looks uneasy, especially her husband Gary, who won't make eye contact. We lay out our evidence: the photos, the harassment log, the police report about the keyed car. My wife plays security footage of Karen filming us creeping around our property. The board shifts in their seats. Ms. Davidson on speaker brings the hammer. "This is selective enforcement. If you continue, we'll file with HUD for racial discrimination." Gary finally speaks up. "Bylaws say rules must be applied uniformly." The vote is 3-1. Our violation is dismissed. Karen is livid, her mask slips, pure hate in her eyes. We leave knowing she's not done, just cornered. Afterward, Mrs. Gable, our only real ally, fills in the blanks. The house we bought. It belonged to Mr. Abernathy, a kind old history professor, until Karen inserted herself as his helper. When he died, suddenly she produced a new will, locked up the estate, took his HOA vote, and became president. His real heir, a grandnephew, was supposed to move in after college, but Karen made sure that never happened. It all clicks. She's obsessed with our house because she conned her way into it once, and we're living proof she didn't win. We find the grandnephew, Leo. He tells us the real story: how Karen isolated Mr. Abernathy, dragged him through courts, wore him down until he gave up. Now, with Leo's testimony and the documents, we find a hidden will, and Mr. Abernathy's journal. We have proof Karen drugged, manipulated, and defrauded him. It's not just HOA harassment. It's elder abuse, maybe worse. But Karen's not done. She starts a smear campaign, gossip, lies, anything to poison the neighborhood against us. The isolation is brutal. And then the final attack, she throws a rock through our window, calls 911 screaming, "I've got a gun." Swatting. Cops show up with weapons drawn. My wife pulls me to the floor. I manage to call out, explain the truth, offer security footage passwords, beg them not to shoot. In the chaos, one officer checks our cameras, sees Karen herself picking up the rock, throwing it, making the call. The tables turn. They arrest her right there in front of the whole block. She's charged with vandalism, filing a false police report, attempted endangerment, and with the journal and the real will fraud and elder abuse. Turns out Karen isn't even her real name. She's a serial grifter preying on lonely old folks, stealing their homes, vanishing to the next town. Our story breaks the cycle. Leo finally gets justice. We work out a deal so we can stay in the house paying him directly. Karen goes to trial. The neighborhood starts to heal. You know what the best part is? That red blanket, the one she tried to use to run us out of town. It's still on our couch, bold as ever. It's not a stain on our story. It's a banner. Proof that we survived, that we belong, that we'll never let hate or fear dictate the color of our lives. So yeah, that's how we survived the worst HOA nightmare you could imagine and took down a monster hiding in plain sight. But let me ask you, if you were in our shoes, what would you have done? Would you have fought back or packed up and left? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me your stories about neighbors from hell or the moments you stood your ground. And if you think justice was served, hit that like button and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Thanks for listening. And next time you buy a red blanket, don't ever let anybody tell you it doesn't belong.